Alright, what's up everybody? This is the first episode of Dice Troop After Dark, the show where we kind of just talk about whatever we feel like. So joining me, he is the host of The Hammer. He is the owner of Toxic Painting. It's Merman Toxic. How are you doing, buddy?
I feel like talking about dick tanks. Are we allowed to talk about dick tanks?
We can possibly talk about dick tanks. And joining us for the first time, he is the host of Full Metal Nerdcast, and hopefully joining us for one of many shows. It's Chris Collins. How you doing?
Hello, friends and people.
All right, so let's get started. So today's topic is going to be about the new consoles and how they're going to affect gaming in general, how they're going to affect, possibly our experiences on the table. So, Chris, would you like to start us off? Do you want to talk about the new consoles and what you think about them, and probably get really angry?
Yeah, sure. Since I know so much about tabletop, let me just say, I think this new console. Well, where should we start, with Xbox or with Sony?
You know what? Talk about Xbox first, so then you can come down from your rage.
I'll be fine. All right. I would say I want to start by saying I'm probably getting. I already pre-ordered my PS4, mainly because everyone knows the rumors and all the crap that went down even before E3. So Xbox's DRM shit, even after their 180, some people think that they're like redeemed now. To me, it's like it's almost worse than actually just sticking to their guns. Who knows? Like, they're all poo PC Master Race. Yeah, someone had to say it. I don't know. All that the always on generation. I don't think people are ready for it. They're the only ones trying to fast track it, and they basically got pummeled because they were the only ones that were like, all right, let's move on from discs, and everyone was like, no. And the thing was, if Sony had done that too, it would have been a different thing, Like, if Sony had been like, yes, we're always on too, maybe then they could argue benefits back and forth, like, you want our console this way, you want this one. But when it came out and Xbox was like, hey, we're doing this, and Sony was like, no, we're sticking with original discs, it was just like, you've seen the internet in general, I'm sure, like, the reaction from Sony was just like, it's really sad to me that to win this console war, all they had to do was basically come out and say, "We didn't change anything, guys." Like, hey,
we're just making video games, and we're gonna keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah. We made a console, just a better console, and it's not a TV box, so you can sports while you play sports ball, while you use Bing.
While you Skype your friends about sports and...
Yeah, while you Skype on Bing and fucking...
Yep.
play Call of Duty Ghosts.
Toxic. Are you impressed with the Xbox?
I don't know. I like two things. I like tabletop wargaming and I like sports. So, where can I buy one of these consoles? No. But, honestly, I don't really play too many video games because I put so much money into the tabletop. So, if they all bomb, then... maybe it'll bring more people back to playing tabletop games. I don't know. There's not much I can really add to that. I think that pretty much covers my feelings on it as well.
Yeah, I think with the Xbox One, the main thing was they were trying to create a center of entertainment in your living room. PC gamers. Let's be honest, guys. We hide in our rooms in the dark, and we don't get any sun, and that's why I'm basically one color of white in my camera right now. But it was made to be an entertainment center for your living room, which is kind of funny because they probably don't even offer any split screen options for any of their games right away. So not very impressed with the graphics or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's honestly kind of disappointing. Both ways. I'm not impressed, and I'm not going to be buying anything at launch.
Well, for sure. The PC's always going to be superior. PC gamers can probably look at the E3 this year, like a console event at E3 this year, and be like, "Yeah, I had that when Xbox 360 was coming out." Kind of it's consoles are always going to be behind graphics wise, but it's a different experience. Is kind of what you're paying for. But there's certainly advantages to PC gaming. You know.
Yeah, the controller's so much better, but I can shoot people in the head better. All right, so
yeah, you can't plug controllers into your PC.
Yeah, you can. You can actually totally just get a wired Xbox controller put into a USB.
I know
port.
That was it was sarcastic.
Yeah, I know. I know. It was pretty funny. I think I have Resident Evil 4 on PC. I'm like, I wonder if this works, and I just plug it in. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me right now, Microsoft? And then it was pretty funny because I was like, man, I wonder what else I can stick into my USB port. So I put in a DDR dance mat, and it was like, hey, nice speakers. And I was like, what are you talking about, computer? God damn it, Microsoft. So I mean, PS4 as well. I mean, we're going to talk about anything different about that. I mean, what's PS4 bringing to the table that Microsoft is not?
Well, here's the thing with last generation. Last generation, PS3 came out overpriced and at a disadvantage because, well, first of all, its price point was ridiculously high. And then the thing that has always drawn me to an Xbox is the Xbox Live community. And, I mean, I've owned a PS1, I've owned an Xbox Classic, I've owned a PS2, Xbox 360. The only console I haven't owned up until, last couple weeks ago that I just bought is a PS3. Because as soon as, E3 came out, I was like, well, I'll just start building my trophy collection now. So I bought a PS3. But the main thing that drew me towards Xbox Live was the playing with friends, and party chat and invites and just the overall just network of gaming on Xbox Live. Now, I think this generation, Sony seems, based on their user interface demo they released, where it shows people jumping, between games, downloading and talking to friends, telling their friends to join game. Basically, they fixed what I think was their biggest disadvantage was the online community. Because you go on Xbox Live, everybody has a microphone, everyone can, party chat and cross-game chat and all this stuff. In PS3, you go on Xbox or you go on PlayStation Network or PlayStation Online. It's like a microphone ghost town. No one talks. No one sets up a Bluetooth headset to their PlayStation 3. It's like you can't do cross game chat, at least to my knowledge. I tried and failed. Maybe I'm just a pleb. I don't know. But I think this generation, Sony's stepping up their networking, and it's rumored to have kind of like a Facebook. You have almost a PlayStation profile, like a wall, and you can share things in clips and streams to your wall. You can add friends, and you can go to their PlayStation wall and stuff like that. That's a rumor, but I think that's a pretty, based on the share button that's been added to the controller. I think that rumor holds a little weight.
Yeah. Now, one thing I kind of want to talk about because I think this is something interesting to look at. I mean, you look at the last generation of console gamings, and I mean, you see. Guess what's the number one selling system from last generation? I guess. Do we still call it this generation, or do we call it last generation? We're gonna call it last generation, assuming this is the new systems coming out is the generation.
Okay.
DS sold the most units.
Wow.
Then the Wii, then the Xbox, then the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you also look at the prices, guess which was the cheapest system? The DS.
The Wii.
Then guess what was the next cheapest? The Wii. Guess what was the next cheapest? I mean,
yeah.
A lot of people, I think the number one defense against PC gaming is too expensive. I mean, would both of you agree that it costs more money to get a really nice PC than it is to just go buy a used 360 at GameStop?
Absolutely. Well, if you want to get to the point that an Xbox is at, yeah, to build a PC to get to that point, it's more expensive. Absolutely.
Yep. And I mean, Toxic. We'll bring you in here with some tabletop discussion. I mean, with a Warhammer army. I mean, you spend, a couple $100 to create a new army. I mean, you basically buy a new console with a new army. I mean, are you actually looking at the price factor, or do you go buy something else when you want to buy these systems?
I don't know. I mean, right now, what's the difference? $100 or so? I mean, that's not too big of a difference when you're actually kind of, well, for me at least, when I'm gonna be throwing down, that much money anyway. But definitely it's, my kind of view on how much stuff costs is kind of screwed up, with playing Warhammer for so long, because obviously the prices are insane there. So maybe I'm just screwed up. But yeah.
No, I mean it's a pretty interesting discussion when you compare, all the different prices and all that stuff. I mean, Chris, do you think that price is that big of a factor when you look at most units sold?
Well, I think absolutely. I think you made a good point, because look at this generation. When you look at the E3, I mean, just the fact that Xbox One came out at $4.99 and PS4 came out at $3.99. That was a huge thing, and like some people are converting just for that reason. And it seems small, but it's a huge factor for a lot of people. It's obvious, and I think the fact that if you look at the bundles, I mean, Xbox One is $4.99, but it comes with the Kinect. That's their big defense. Like, well, you get the Kinect. It's like, well, I don't want the fucking Kinect. It's like, give me PS4.
I don't want the government-issued Xbox One. I don't want HAL in my system.
Hey, your Xbox One comes with Big Brother. It's $100 extra. Are you happy? Good, great. Take it home. Plug it in. You always have to have it connected.
Yeah. What's the meme that people have? It was a 4chan post, and as much as I dislike 4chan, it's just like, watching a movie that I paid $10 for, like Xbox detects like Mountain Dew and Doritos, so it gives me like ads or whatever. Friend walks into the room, or roommate walks into the room. Xbox Connect detects it, charges me an extra $10.
Yeah.
It's just like...
they actually filed a patent for that.
Really?
That's a real thing. They filed a patent for that technology to detect the amount of people that are in the room, so that they can detect the outreach of things like you just said, like movies or ad revenue. So they can see how many... it's like just not anonymous data, but data it's like part of that data collecting thing. So they play an ad and they can see, okay, it reached this many people. That's a real patent they bought. Whether or not they implement it, who knows? But like patents, tons of companies buy patents like that all the time, and just nothing ever happens. But that they did absolutely buy a patent that implements that technology, is capable of detecting people, and even if you watch an ad or not. So if they play an ad and you walk out of the room, like shit like that, like it voids the ad or something. Like it says like, this person didn't watch it, or it might make you wait till you get back. It's a real thing.
Yeah, I mean that's all kind of crazy to consider, which is kind of funny, because when you think of like ads like that, you think of computer and you think of Hulu, and it actually gives you the option of which ad. It's like, hey, do you want the woman's like leg shaving product, or do you want chocolate? I don't know, Dove soap.
Where's D? None of the above.
So I mean, I've always joked in the past that when Google had a phone, it would be completely free, but every time you make a call, you have to listen to a 15-second ad. I mean, so. Actually, let's divert the topic, because I think there's also one thing that a lot of people aren't considering when it comes to these console wars electronically, and that's phone games. I mean, you look at something like the iPhone, Facebook games even. I mean, so many people play those. I mean, do you think that's toxic? Do you think that's a huge consideration when you consider it? I mean, do you play Candy Crush Saga? Because I've spent so many damn hours on that game, it's not even funny.
I have like 15 invites to that game, but I haven't played it. And again, this is probably not the best question for me, because I don't have a smartphone, so I don't play games on my phone. So I know that might be strange, but yeah, I don't have a smartphone.
All right, so Chris, what do you think? Do you think phone games and Facebook games? Do you think that's actually going to affect people's decision? The fact, like, I'm amused enough hours and I can kill enough time on my iPhone, with these like $2 games that I don't really see the point in investing in a $500 block to entertain me when I could just keep buying these $2 games.
Honestly, I think smartphone games only appeal to, I would say, it's weird because they appeal to non-gamers in the sense that those people probably don't own a console anyway, but then it appeals to the gamers that are just away from their consoles. Do you know what I mean?
Who need that fix.
Yeah, exactly. Like, for example, there's some things that have been added, like ports that have been added to iOS that are amazing, like Grand Theft Auto 3. Like you can play that full game on an iPhone, iOS device now. It's like I have it on my iPad. I have a Lego Harry Potter. The only thing I fucking hate about iPhone games is your whole thumb is the screen. Like you try and play, and it's like this is your controller, but you're taking up the whole screen when you're playing it. So it's like I can't see what I'm trying to play. Anyways, I think I don't know. They just added XCOM to iOS, which is fucking cool. But I don't know if you guys ever played that.
No,
XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Nope, can't say.
Well, I think the ports and stuff that they're adding to iOS is really strong lately. But I don't think it has anything to do with consoles because non-gamers and gamers alike play iOS stuff. It's just shit. You're on a train, you're in a car, you're bored, and you just download something for $1. It's like.
Yeah. Well, now let's combine the two things because I know you're not big on tabletop, but Toxic. I mean, Games Workshop has been making so many things for tablets and iPhone now. I mean, you can buy your codexes, you can buy the Psyker app, so you can cast your psychic powers on it. I mean, you look at something. Let's bring back Mass Effect. There's a thing called For those of you who haven't played Mass Effect 3, there's a thing called Galactic Readiness, and you can play the game as much as you want. But unless you play either the iPhone game or you play multiplayer, you cannot increase that in single player. So basically, they're forcing you to either play online or buy the iPhone app.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of messed up. Actually, I'm not sure if they might have changed that in a patch or whatever later on. But I mean. Is it something to consider? I mean, the fact that they're trying to bring mobile gaming and Toxic. Do you ever see like you have to log into Xbox or something to get, and you can look at your codexes that way and stuff like that, and you and your friends you can have a codex reading together. You can have a powwow.
You can sit down.
Yeah.
Read a codex.
Space Marines came out, guys. That's like all of our armies together.
Like everything that. Everything that like they're kind of bringing out right now, like Games Workshop's bringing out on iPhones and all that. Now they're bringing out on Android. It's just convenience. They're not really bringing anything new out. I mean, I still have all my codexes, paperback, hardback, whatever they bring out. Like I said, I don't have a smartphone, don't have an iPad, don't have all that crap, so I don't have access to it. But I don't feel left out because I still have my psychic cards, I still have my codex, and guess what? A lot of the times I'm gonna find my shit quicker than you are scrolling through your damn tablet. And I mean, that's what happens. I verse a guy and he's got his tablet out there, and he seems to have more trouble flicking through that than I can on my book that I have out. So it's just convenience and whether you like to do that or not. I mean, you're not even really saving any money on it. The digital versions are still the same price, more or less. Yeah. So
you're talking about, just to clarify, since for the folks at home who don't know what you're talking about, like me, what you flipping through a tablet to select a certain. So basically, I'm just trying to make sense. You can either buy a physical card or a digital download.
Essentially, yeah. Basically,
why would you ever choose a digital download? It's not even tangible. You can't hold it. You know what I mean? Like you could lose that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a codex near me. Normally, I have my Dark Angels or my High Elves sitting next to me. But yeah, basically, once you buy your armies, you buy individual books called codexes or army books, and that has all the rules for your army. And what you can do is you can also, and keep in mind, it's $50 to drop just for these rules. You can spend an additional $50 to drop for the digital version, so you don't need a book, and you can just bring your iPad into your game, and you can scroll through all the stuff. I mean, someone as an outsider, does that appeal to you? Would you if you were playing Warhammer, would you want the book, or would you want to put on your iPad?
I'm always over physical over digital. Like as far as downloading games, anything I would always take a book or a card or a game with a case and a disc over downloading it to my Xbox and it being on a hard drive in some cloud or some bullshit.
All right. Okay, guys. It's going to be tinfoil hats time. So I don't have my tinfoil hat. Unfortunately, it got destroyed in moving, but I do have my fox hat. So, Toxic, do you have a tinfoil hat?
No, I'm packed up. All I've got is this computer and this empty room.
I'm going to put on the hat.
He's wearing a beanie. He's halfway there.
Oh, yeah. Chris, you need a hat. Actually, this isn't gonna work. But okay. So let me throw a curveball at
I
you.
have some masks in the background. I can put
All right. Let me throw a curveball at you guys.
All right.
When PS3 launched, there was a game called Eye of Judgment. Does anyone remember that game?
No.
Yes.
Essentially, it was Yu-Gi-Oh. It was what Yu-Gi-Oh is supposed to be, and I'm surprised I haven't jumped on that. What if, Toxic, what if you had your Xbox and the Kinect was pointing at your table, and you picked 2 units and it actually showed the visual combat and it rolled for you?
Hell yeah.
How much money would you fucking drop on that shit?
I would drop more money on that if, like, let's say, I had a table and the camera was looking at my table, and then it put the table up on the screen, and then I had like an opponent that was like overseas, and they had their table set up like mine, and it picked up their units, and they kind of merged the 2 tables together on the screen.
Yep.
And you could live stream it because then Xbox One would be connected to Twitch now.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, if you're not big into tabletop, but what if that was actually a display? You know, for example, Magic the Gathering or Eye of Judgment. You know, you played cards, and when a person tapped his card to show he was attacking, it actually showed these 2 monsters just going at it on the screen. I mean, would that get you?
I think it's genius.
Would that get you into playing tabletop? To dropping?
That would certainly make me open to it. Yeah, that would definitely kind of bridge the gap, because to me right now it doesn't seem as stimulating as playing with an like an actual avatar, an alias, like a 3D character, as I'm playing on a video game or a console. But I mean, I played Pokemon for a while.
Close enough.
So it could possibly. I mean, if it were almost like manifested onto a screen, and like what I was doing or what cards I played, like if I drew a card and it was a certain thing and it played out the action, I think that's absolutely something that would appeal to me, at least to try it out.
Yeah, and I mean, this was my inspiration for this episode. It was when I was at my old store before I moved. I walk into my game store, renowned for Magic the Gathering. There were 4 people in the store. They were playing Magic, but they weren't playing with cards. They were all just sitting in a square, just playing on their iPhones. They were playing Duel of the Planeswalkers. And it's kind of interesting that they would go to the store to go play that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
that's really fucked up, if you ask me. let's go to the fucking card store and play with our phones.
No, Toxic. I mean, just go into that. Why is that messed up to you?
Like, the whole point that I love about like the tabletop is that I'm there. I've got my models. I've painted them up. I'm playing against my opponent, who I can see in person. I can shake his hand after the game. It's like that social aspect. It seems kind of messed up. Like, you go to the store. Obviously, these people play Magic. They probably have the actual physical Magic cards. Why the hell would they be playing on a phone? I mean, come on.
And it's pretty interesting. I pre-ordered Duels of the Planeswalkers, which came out, I think Wednesday it came out. And it's pretty interesting how they do it, is they actually give you free stuff based on how far you get in the game. So I pre-ordered it. So immediately when I load the game, it says, here, write down this code or take a picture with your smartphone, and I'm going to my game store tomorrow, and I'm getting a free card for it. And I guess what happens when you keep playing, you keep unlocking free stuff, and you can get free boosters and all that. I mean, doesn't that sound like the sweetest deal ever? I mean, I know neither of you play Magic, but I mean, Toxic.
Yeah, I play Magic. I'm just not very good at it.
If you played Yu-Gi-Oh! Online, and for example, you beat Story Mode and you got a free intro pack, I mean, would that make it so much more appealing to do both?
I mean, it would. I mean, I did play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online until they shut it down. And it was just appealing to me because I didn't have anyone at that time to play with, so playing online was awesome. But if I'm gonna get that and then also get free shit, that's awesome. That's amazing, and why not do that?
Yeah, I mean, Chris, does that sound appealing to you? I mean, you're like, man, maybe I'll check out this game because I can get free Magic cards.
Well,
it's $10, by the way.
From my standpoint, I mean, console games have been doing that too. For example, Halo 4, I know it's like one of the like the blockbusters, like kind of almost a Call of Duty at this point. But Halo 4, I've always been a huge Halo fan, and when I played Halo 4, they had an iOS app, like a Halo Waypoint. It was, of course, like a Mountain Dew Doritos thing, but like you went to a 7-Eleven, scanned barcodes, and like it gave you points and that you could buy armor with in the game. You got like special armor. So I was going around like on Halo 4 on my Xbox, people like, "How'd you get that sweet armor?" And like it was like an exclusive to the app thing.
I'm a slave to corporations. That's how, buddy.
Yeah, I'm a consumer whore. That's how. So yeah, I went to 7-Elevens and scanned Doritos. Fuck with me, I don't give a shit. I wanted that armor, okay? Fuck off. And it was awesome and worth it.
So I mean, can you guys agree that there's something good going on with the fact that you play the video game version of these tabletop games and you possibly get the actual physical thing? I mean, is that the sweet points? As consumers from both sides, how is that good?
Everyone loves free shit.
Yeah, it's very consumer friendly. Exactly. Yeah, everyone loves free shit.
I mean, Toxic. How would you feel if Games Workshop made a Vassell 40K, and you played story mode, and say for example you beat it on I don't know, normal or high difficulty, and you got a free Dark Vengeance or you got a free Island of Blood? I mean, how would that sound to you?
I mean, that sounds kind of crazy. I would just expect maybe
it would
a
never
model
happen.
or something. But, like, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, you have, trading card games. They have their, I don't know the word. This always happens to me every show. When they have, like, their new releases and you go there on, like, a midnight release and you get, like, a free card or whatever. Like, I don't see why Games Workshop can't do that. They just, like, send out a box of models on sprues to, like, your local store. So you can, go in with your coupon saying that you won, something in-game that gives you a physical version of it. I mean, it's definitely possible, and that'd be awesome. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, how would you feel if you got, a Warhammer RTS for 360 and you got this code saying, hey, you got a free Space Marine, you got a couple of tactical Marines? I mean, would that possibly interest you into playing tabletop, making that jump?
That would definitely give me some incentive to. I mean, like, that would, even if I didn't even know what it was, I would be like, well, I'm gonna go check this out now. Because I mean, fuck it, if I'm into the game, especially if I'm into the game enough. I mean, if I played Warhammer RTS and I didn't like it, and it was like, hey, there's more free shit, I wouldn't care. But like, if I enjoyed a console game enough and it gave me some free shit, why wouldn't I seize the opportunity to at least check it out? And I think that's good incentive if you're trying to get people to cross over. But I was curious. I had a question for you guys. There's a Magic the Gathering arcade game on Xbox Live, isn't there?
That might be Duels of the Planeswalker. They come out with it every year as a year edition comes out. So basically, they reprint cards from older sets once a year, and they have a game that's based on that. I believe, chat room, you might want to back me up if I'm incorrect.
So, okay, I was just curious if you had, because the thing you'd mentioned is interesting, but then again, it might be like the whole the tabletop via console.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really interesting concept, especially for tabletop players, I would imagine. But for someone that's I don't want to sound like I'm like
it's all right, dude.
Trash.
It's all right.
I don't want to sound like I'm trashing the theory or idea of it, but like, what's the point of doing a camera and tabletop if you have a controller and you're doing the same thing?
Toxic. Do you want to answer that? Like, if for example they came out with Vassell 40K on the Xbox One and PS4, what's the point of tabletop?
The point of tabletop, it's two different things when you get to that level. Like when you're getting rid of the models, it's still going to be kind of two different things. Like that virtual version, that's not my army. Like, I spend 70 hours to paint up my army, and hundreds of dollars. That's part of the appeal, is going to the store and kind of showing off. Not to mention just being in a group of like-minded people and just having fun. But it's not saying I wouldn't play the hell out of a virtual version of it.
So
I
if it was
play the
like
hell
you
out
could
of that.
customize your, kind of like the way you customize a character in the beginning of a game, like say Skyrim, you start Skyrim and it's like, you customize chin, color, all that stuff. If you did that for your army, you customize stuff. I don't know if there's a difference. Like say if you paint, is the paint symbolize things, or is it just kind of your own creative expression for your models?
Oh, does Toxic have stuff to say? He's if since Chris, you're new to this in chat room. Anyone who doesn't know, Toxic actually runs a painting studio. He professionally paints models. People pay him to paint models because
That's
he's
badass.
fantastic. Yeah, no, it's awesome, but it's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a sign of honor, because there are also people that just buy the models and they don't bother to paint stuff. And just
Right.
like it's a code of honor. Like even if you paint stuff like very mediocre, you still give mad respect to the person who put his effort in. It might be his first models, but you still, you're just like, yes, good job, I salute you, sir. You're putting extra time in. An example I can think of is, say for example, World of Warcraft. That's a game that can easily relate to something in a similar topic. A couple of years ago, they added looking for raid. So raiding in World of Warcraft, basically you got a bunch of people together who were really good players, and basically you all kind of work together to beat like 8 to 12 bosses. And what would happen is every time you killed a boss, you got this really difficult, hard to get gear, and you had to like manage it, and you had to give it to all your friends. And you had to give it to guildmates, whoever deserved it, whoever needed, whoever could progress the raid. Now, when you go into Orgrimmar or a major city, people see the player with all the raid gear, and they're like, "Oh my god, like you're awesome! This is, you're prestigious. You're above all of us."
Right.
But recently, with the LFR, you can get a weaker version of the same armor, and people are kind of like, "Well, that's super lame, because I put so much time and effort into this, and you can get the same looking armor as me. Like I'm calling bullshit on that."
Right.
And I think that's something that can. So say for example, Halo. Say for example, you worked really hard. You have to get like 50 headshots in a game, like something super up. He's gonna get something. He's gonna
Or scan 50 bags of Doritos.
Yeah, you have to scan 50 bags of Doritos or whatever, and
getting something out of frame.
and say for example, you get 50 headshots in the game, and it's really tough to get, and you got the sweet red armor and stuff like that, and people are like, "Oh, whoa, you're hardcore," and then they come out with the same armor for someone that gets, for someone that put maybe $1 down for a game, but it's blue. I mean, doesn't that kill the appeal? Doesn't that piss you off if you're the person
No,
that
absolutely,
got 50 headshots?
absolutely, yeah.
I guess
that would piss me off.
I guess that's the example that it would be between playing tabletop and playing something virtual. You have your painted army. You put so much time and effort to just being good and making this thing your own, versus someone who's just like, "Oh yeah, I play online and stuff like that. I win all my games, and I win tournaments and stuff like that." Versus the Toxic with the Space Wolves, and he's just like, "Oh." You know what I mean? So
Right.
but I do think there is a unison between the two things, and I really think Wizards of the Coast has it down with Magic the Gathering. It's the example, and I believe Wizards of the Coast is going to step up with their stuff. They got a new edition. They got D&D next coming out, which everyone apparently hates, but I feel like they're going to do something digital, something that's really good with some sort of online game, and you're going to be able to get something for your character, on the table. So, I mean, I think in the future this is going to be kind of a thing that we're going to see more.
That's pretty cool. That would be cool.
So, I mean, does anyone else have anything else to say about this?
Yeah, not that I can think of. But if they did bring out a virtual version of the tabletop, I would still play the hell out of that.
I mean, we play Dawn of War all the time. Like,
What if it was kind of like a DDR pad where you threw cards on a certain spot?
yeah, well, it's kind of how Eye of Judgment worked. You had these cards, but they also had barcodes on them, and the camera picked it up.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's one of the coolest games I've ever seen. I've never actually played it before, but I've seen it in practice so many times, and it seemed to work really well. But unfortunately, the problem was people could print the cards online, and it would just make the best decks in the game. And literally, it would just be like paper. And they would just scan it and be like, yeah, you have the best monster in the game, good job, yeah!
Wow, that's pretty bad. That's funny they didn't think of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, who has that little of a life that they're like, man, I want to win every single game, so I'm gonna freaking go print it out. You know, it's that dishonor, you know, just like playing Necrons the tournaments, you know. Just
Right,
good,
right.
good job,
Necrons
you.
and Grey Knights.
Yeah, good
It's
job,
that guy.
Good job, you won the tournament. Like you for picking an army. So, I mean, I think in my opinion, we're gonna see some pretty interesting things the next 5 years. Not sure what they are, but I think we're gonna see some pretty interesting things. So, yeah, does anyone else have anything to say?
No, I think that pretty much wraps it up.
All right.
I had something to say about Kinect.
All right.
Like when we're talking about that, I kind of didn't get to say it about like it always being on. And I had like this experience when my parents brought this TV, and it came with a free Xbox with Kinect, and I hadn't like had Kinect before, so I'm like, I'll play that. And I mean, I walk around in just my underpants a lot of the time around the house, so I was just like playing some Kinect in my underpants, and it was taking pictures of me. And like a couple of days later, I go through my Xbox, and there's just a whole bunch of pictures of me like jumping up and down in my underpants, and I'm like, fuck this Kinect. So somewhere out there, there's like this Xbox with just like pictures of me, like
in your Batman suit, kicking your wife in the face.
worse than that probably. So that's kind of my experience with Kinect, and what kind of puts me off about having an Xbox with Kinect is that it took pictures of me. It made me do things.
Xbox, turn off. I'm afraid I can't do that, Karen. So Chris, do you have any final words for this this debate? Oh, I think we froze for a minute.
My plan is,
Oh, we lost Toxic.
and just scream, Xbox off, and then just watch everyone sign off. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did it break?
No, we lost Toxic.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we lost Toxic. I'm not sure. Hang on. I got it. Just keep talking. Keep talking. You're good.
Oh, well.
Stall him.
I'll just fill the podcast.
All right, good. He's back.
Airtime.
All right, yeah, talk. So go ahead.
I have no idea what the hell just happened.
I don't know, but you did what to his dog for how many jelly beans, Chris? Chris is frozen and he's beautiful.
You like that?
Yeah.
Like that?
So good. So good.
I'm just really good at ventriloquism.
Yeah.
I'm actually moving.
That's pretty phenomenal, actually. So, yeah, I'm sorry, what were we saying?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was basically saying if I get an Xbox One, it'll be solely just to go on Xbox Live and scream Xbox off and watch everyone's Xbox shut off.
All right. So, yeah. So
I think that'll work technically if they have it on speaker.
All right, so I guess I'll say the final words. Dice Troop is a non-profit organization. We do all these shows for free, but of course, if you like what we do, you can donate to us on dicetroop.tumblr.com. You can donate $1, $5, $10, anything you can to help us out. Thank you so much to all those who have donated. It's been awesome. You guys have been the best viewers in the world. But we'll always do the shows for free, and we'll keep bringing you quality content. So, as always,
the Hammer in 7 hours.
Yes, the Hammer in 7 hours.
Yeah.
So, yep. So, joining me always, it's Toxic. What do you have planned for Dice Troop? You got some big things with painting, don't you?
Yeah, we're moving tomorrow. So we're gonna into a 2-bedroom place. I'm gonna have basically a studio for my painting stuff. So I'm gonna be doing tactics articles on Tuesday and Thursday, and then just a talk kind of video of just me talking about stuff on Sunday, as well as doing some probably some painting streams where I will be kind of cross-streaming with another friend of mine who does art streams, so you can check out my painting stream while we just kind of talk. So that'll be something coming in the future. And like I kind of mentioned before, the Hammer is in about 7 hours, so I don't know if I'll be sleeping, but that'll be in 7 hours where you can join Savage Seb and myself to talk about Warhammer stuff.
All right, and Chris, you're the outsider. You got Full Metal Nerdcast. What do you have planned?
I'm just trying to climb the ladder. We just started a few months ago, and just trying to produce quality content. We do podcasts. We started doing live stream recently, both of our podcasts and of video games. So we stream, all kinds of different games, new releases, whatever. But we do Full Metal Nerdcast Plays, which is just a highlight reels, just funny little edits, under 5-minute edits of us playing video games. Just check out our website, fullmetalnerdcast.com, and well, I'm sure we'll be doing some cross-promoting here in the future. And stuff,
yeah,
so.
definitely. It's been an awesome show, and we'd love to have you back. In fact, while you're here, do you want to drop some links into chat room? So,
sure, I will.
So people can check you out right now.
I will do that.
Full Metal Nerdcast. In fact, do you guys feel like hanging out with chat room? We got a pretty active chat room tonight. If you guys want to come back and hang out.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for having me on. I'm kind of a tabletop noob, but I mean, it was fun learning more about it, and I think thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll peace out, and we'll probably be back for live chat. So you guys have a wonderful weekend, and the hammer in 7 hours. Talk to you later.
Good night.